Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Elevate Your Life podcast. It is 2025, Cheryl.
Wow. I can't believe it. It seemed like last year went by so fast.
Happy New Year.
We're already here. Yeah. Happy New Year. Exactly.
We are super excited to be with you here in 2025. We got an amazing plan for this year on our podcast, so we're going to go over that with you today. We want to remind you that if you did not do podcast or listen to podcast 173 or 174, which was to review last year, come up with your celebrations, challenges, and changes that you want to make in 2025. We think that's super important to do. And you really can't go into this year without evaluating last year and thinking of what changes do I want to make this year? What results do I want this year to happen before, you want to begin with the end in mind. So we always start with December 31st, 2025. I mean, that's what's in our minds. We kind of work backwards from there. So we encourage you to do that. And also, Cheryl, word of the year or phrase of the year is super important.
Yeah, I was thinking, what if you don't want to look back at last year and you just want to say, no, I just want to start now. I just want to start now and, really pick my word or my phrase and go from there. Yeah. Can someone do that?
They can, but we remember, Cheryl, everything's a learning experience. That's the meaning we give to things.
I know that,
so
but
I think 2024 did not go as well as you planned. It's important to learn from that and know what changes you want to make so that, because what we see, Cheryl, is patterns with people, right? Yeah, we see people not reviewing, and doing the same crazy stuff year in, year out and wondering why their life isn't getting any better. So
that's true.
What changes are you going to make this year is super, super important. But we want to spend some time with you right now at the beginning of the year, kind of laying out our complete plan for the year and how these podcasts are going to roll. We want to be with you every step of the way this whole year and elevate. We want to help you elevate your life. And we got a complete plan in place. Actually, the title of this podcast, Cheryl, is our Focusing on the Wholistic Wheel. So we're going to focus on that, focus on health, and our 360-degree life enhancement strategy for 2025.
I love it. I love enhancement.
Pretty fancy.
I think that's a really good word. And I love that we're going to just lay it out. It's really super simple. I really like everything to be simple. So we have 8 areas of your life, and we're just going to talk about each of those today just a little bit, and what we're going to kind of lay out for you in 2025 to help you elevate your life, which, Paul, is what our word is and what our word or phrase of the year is: elevate your life. So I love that.
Absolutely. And that's our overall mission, is to help you elevate your life, as I mentioned. But our focus in 2025 is really on health. So it's the health of all 8 areas. So Cheryl and I also own the Institute of Holistic Health. And we came up with this holistic wheel. And we really believe that disease occurs when any of the 8 areas is out of balance.
Right. So
we really want to get all 8 areas lined up this year and in balance. And, the way the wheel, we got a picture of the wheel. It's in the notes. We're going to go a little bit out of order, though, in our podcast. And we're going to actually start with emotional health. So let me just read off the 8 areas real quick. It's physical health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, career health, financial health, healthy relationships, and healthy lifestyles. So those are the 8 areas. We're going to dive into each one of those today. But Cheryl, we're going to start with emotional health. And why is it so important to bump this up to number 1?
Well, because if your emotions are off, and we call it state, right? So your emotions, which obviously that's what you're feeling. Your emotions are what you're feeling, and the emotional energy that you have with that feeling, that equals state. So whenever we talk about state from now on, we'll know that that's that's how you're feeling and the energy that you have there. So you get to choose your emotions, Paul. I think that was one of the hardest things for me. No, I don't choose my emotions. Someone made me mad. Someone did this and I felt this way. And someone did that and I felt sad. And someone did that and I felt this way. But no, which I think was one of the most eye-opening things, and is one of the most eye-opening things for everyone, is that you really have to be accountable and take responsibility for the way that you're feeling, for the emotional state that you're in.
Yeah, because really, I believe that 98% of it's all subconscious. We just
Exactly.
look, oh, it's Monday at 4, and this is how I feel every Monday at 4. So you're in
Yeah.
this pattern, and it's just
We're so
recognizing
smart.
that thing.
We're so smart.
Yeah.
Like we are so smart subconsciously, we don't even know. Like yeah, you're right. That's a pattern, but we don't even realize that it's a pattern and a habit. We just do it because we've always done it.
Yeah.
It's the
And
worst reason.
yeah. And there's so many examples out there. Actually, we're just talking off camera about a couple, but I have a super great friend, one of my best friends. He just thinks it's his job to find something wrong. Like and I talk with his wife all the time, and we're good friends and everything, but he always wants to find something that's going wrong. Like, I think he just feels best when he can find something to complain about. Like it's his job. It's like I'm going to find something to complain about, and we spent all this time talking about something bad that's going on in the world or his life or with someone else or something, because it's just nothing positive though. And it's just, and people fall in these patterns, and I'm not even sure they realize it, that that's who they are and what they do, but
Yeah.
and then other people we know that just, they're always seem to be positive. It's like, oh, this person's just so lovely to be around because they're always cheery and positive about things. And so that's not an accident. It's something we choose, which, like you said, Cheryl, it is so amazing to think that way, because how many times do we react naturally to something that just happened in the way that we think we should react to it? And not, and we always blame the thing for how we feel, when it has nothing to do with what just happened at all. It's how you interpreted that, the meaning you gave to it, and the emotion that you're attaching to the whole thing.
Yeah. But what I love about this whole thing is once you become aware of this and once you understand it and know it, and as we talk more about it and discuss it this year, I think people are going to and give tips and different things that each of you can do to really take control of that. Because I think that if you can control that part of your life, everything else will be better. Every single thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about this year and helping people do that. I think it'll be awesome.
The big thing here I really want to point out, though, is it's always you versus you. This is it. That's the only battle there is in life, is you versus you. I remember another friend of ours said, oh, I would be happy all the time if my husband was always gone and my children were gone and I just could be by myself. It's other people come into the equation that ruin my life. But
I love that. Yeah. That's like one of my favorite things. I'm totally fine as long as I'm by myself and no one talks to me and I can't see anyone and I can watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Then I'm like super good.
Yeah.
That makes me.
That's the best.
Oh, okay.
So getting that under control is priority number one, because everything in life, these other 7 things we're going to talk about, are all state dependent. If you are in a bad state, you have no shot at elevating the next 7 things. Especially the next thing, which is physical health. Now, 84% of all people are overweight or obese right now. That's an astonishing statistic. 84%.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Now, why is that? It's because we have a lack of knowledge on how to get healthy. Like the things we're going to go over in our podcast, I mean, it's great information we're going to share. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of information that people are unaware of. But listen, it's emotional eating that is the number one cause of people being overweight.
Yeah, I agree. And we have so many people asking us, what should I eat? How should I eat? When should I eat? All of these different things. So we'll be going over that. We'll be explaining that to people, what we have found works best for us and with all the research and everything else and your degrees and everything. I think that it's going to be absolutely awesome. So we're going to talk about the food you can eat. We're going to talk about exercise. That's super important. Something people ask us all the time about. And then, Paul, we're going to spend quite a bit of time on supplements.
Because this is a big question we get asked all the time. Everybody's on TikTok, watching a TikTok video or Instagram or wherever, and they see an ad for this product or that product, and they instantly think they need that. And don't really understand exactly what it does. It just sounds good. It sounds like something I should be taking.
And the marketing was great.
And the marketing was phenomenal.
That's the whole point, right? Yeah. I mean, so we're
going to break it down and really tell you what you need and how to take it. We'll recommend. We deal with a lot of different lines of products. So we'll tell you which ones we believe are the best, when we personally use ourselves and have thousands of other people using. And just to understand, obviously we need to come to the realization that we need supplements first and foremost, right, Cheryl?
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the foods we eat, this is just a news flash that they don't contain all the nutrients you need every day.
Yeah,
You
no, they
have to
don't.
take
They don't even
supplements.
come close. They don't even come close. Not only that, but there's a lot of bad stuff on the foods that we're eating too. So we need to be aware of that and aware of what they're putting in our foods. Okay, well, I have never had such an eye-opening experience than when I was traveling last year, and they have, like, I'm in a grocery store and they have like the regular grocery store, but then they have a United States section. And that's where, and then they have warning labels on all of the United States food,
So you're in a different
which
country.
in a different country. Yeah, because they want people to know that, hey, this is bad for you. This is not the food you should be eating, but we're going to have it here because, it tastes.
Oh, so it's not like a health food section, like, oh, you should go shop over here for the best food.
No, I
It's the
said
opposite.
warning labels. It says warning.
Wow.
This is warning. This is bad for you. It was the most fascinating thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? So but to become aware of that, Paul, I think it's so, so important for everyone. I really do. So talk about that. And then also about the importance, we get asked about this a lot, but about water and how important that is.
Yeah. Critical part of health is drinking a lot of clean, good water. So we'll go over that. I got some recommendations on that. And then a big thing that we talk about all the time, Cheryl, is this topic of recovery.
Yeah.
How to sleep better. Sleep is a huge problem around the world. And things like we do for recovery, like the cold plunge, the sauna. We got great stats on why the sauna is so important. Just intentional rest, taking that time off. We just took off some time for the holidays, which was great. We all need that for our physical bodies, for our emotions, for our mental health. All of that's important, to take that intentional rest. And we're going to talk a little bit in lifestyle about that, actually planning out your year, where you're going to, go hard and where you're going to, take a little break. I think that's super important to do.
Yeah, I think it is too. Okay. And then we're going to move into mental health, which has just been
huge topic.
Yes. Huge topic. And just everything that's
very controversial too.
It is very controversial. It really is. But I think we've done a ton of research on it, and just like being in the middle of everything that's happened and everything that's been going on, I think that we've got some great like tips to share and things to talk about that a lot of people may not know about. And I think that it's so important, to really focus on this, just like the other 7 areas. So mental health is a big one.
Yeah, the story we tell ourselves is everything. Being a Tony Robbins coach, Tony talks about story all day, every day. Change your story, change your life. And we all have a story that we're telling ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can look at these extreme situations where people are like, have been in concentration camps or been in these really bad situations where one person comes out, becomes a senator. The other person comes out and commits suicide. It's the story they focused on. It's the same situation, but somehow one person had a different story in their mind or different thoughts than the other person did.
And I think, Paul, sometimes it can be that you're not even aware that that's the story you're telling yourself. And so then it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And you don't even realize that. So I think it's so important to really become aware of what we're doing. Just like you said, it's you versus you. That's really what the bottom line is.
It is. But we want you to understand the story. And we all have a story. So it's super important to be conscious about the story and rewrite the story. Make sure you're thinking the story that you want to think, and we'll help you do that. Getting clear on the results you want, understanding the pattern that you're into. A lot of it, Cheryl, comes back to your word, which is awareness.
Yeah.
Being aware and just making that unconscious thing that's happening conscious, which is what Dr. Joe Dispenza always talks about. But really diving into our thoughts and diving into our beliefs. All these things make up who we are. And at the core, we have to change our identity. And you get to pick any identity you want. You can't go around saying, well, I'm just the type of person who's not a morning person. Like, when did you decide that? Like,
Well, you
we
have
all,
to realize that you did decide it.
yeah,
It's not
it's all your decision.
necessarily it's not necessarily the truth.
It's not the
And the
truth.
problem is your body or your mind always has to have a story for whatever it is you're doing. So you don't get up until noon, let's say, or you don't get up until 10, whatever the time is. And then, but you need a story about that. So your body's like, oh, well, I'm not a morning person. Well, no, it's not that you're not a morning person, but that's what your mind told yourself because you didn't get up until 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, like you're saying, change your story, change your life. I completely agree with that. And that's just kind of a simple way or whatever that I think about it or that I look at it. But I just think it's so important to know that you're not a morning person. That's not true. It's
I
just
know.
that that's what you've decided. That's what your body or your mind decided to tell yourself. And so
Yeah.
now you're like, oh, I guess I'm not a morning person. I hear that so much. And Paul,
Oh,
I want to just go ahead.
I just got in this huge fight with this guy. He tells me, well, listen, Paul, you say it's a story and all this, but it's the truth. Like, at the end of every January, I get sick.
No,
I'm like,
that's
well,
because he told himself
it's
that.
because you're saying that. That's why you're getting sick at the
Yes.
end of January. This proves my point that
Yeah.
the story you're telling will come true.
Yeah,
I'm the type of
that's
person
right.
that always gets sick at the end of January. Guess what? You will be sick at the end of every January. It will happen.
Well, and it's exactly what you said, Paul. Your thoughts become things, right? I mean, whatever you're thinking about, they will become things. And one of the biggest things I think that just completely changed my life is to realize that, yeah, women have like 65,000 thoughts a day, or no, 85 or something.
Yeah, more
Or,
than that.
but 65,000 are not good, right? They're not good thoughts. And that's just like, that's crazy to even think that. And I think it's subconsciously, a lot of it is subconscious.
Yeah, but we're going to help you. Well,
Yeah.
you're going to think 60,000 thoughts a day. Why don't we think of the ones we want to think?
Yeah.
And think of those ahead of time. Well, if, since I'm going to think today anyways, what should I be thinking about? And a lot of it goes back to questions we ask ourselves. We subconsciously ask ourselves a bunch of questions, and we'll get into all that when the time's right. But we're literally going to go in order of all these things throughout the year. So this is literally a 52-week plan we have in place here. So, but we'll get to all this eventually. I don't know, probably be July when by the time we hit this, but we're going to be hitting mental health. You can see how passionate we are about that. And another thing we're super passionate about, Cheryl, is spiritual health.
Absolutely. There's nothing like the power of prayer, Paul. Nothing like it.
No,
So
it's huge.
So important. And then having just like that faith or that belief, I just think that's so important. And then gratitude, of course, gratitude, we know changes, reroutes your brain, right?
Yeah.
To looking for things to be grateful for. And that's just super, super important. And then of course, raising your vibrational frequency. And we know how important that is, because if you want anything in your life, your vibrational frequency needs to be high.
Yeah, this has to become a major topic, and it's something I'm super passionate about. As you know, Cheryl, I studied under Dr. Dwyer for a long time, or, I always refer back to this book called Power versus Force. If you don't own the book, go get it, because it's what I live my life by. And it's really helping humankind get up to a higher vibration. I mean, we are vibrating now at a level. So the whole scale is on a scale from 0 to 1,000, and we're like at 100 now. I mean, it's the lowest ever, and it's really ever since COVID happened, and it's kind of like the domino effect from all of that. It's been going in the wrong direction, and it starts with each and every individual person to be responsible for their own vibrational frequency. When we're born, I really believe we're born from love, joy, and peace. I mean, you're a baby, and you come into this new world, and it's all great. And then things happen, and we let them get to us, and we hold on to things, and then those things pull us down to these lower vibrational frequencies. But Cheryl and I listen to vibrational frequency music all the time. We do specific things to always look to elevate our vibrational frequency and stay in that place of love, joy, and peace. So we have all kinds of tips and tricks on that. So I'm really looking forward to getting that place, Cheryl. I actually want to create a whole course around that and maybe even get a support group together for people who are really interested in, first of all, finding out what their vibrational frequency is at right now, and then ways to make it go up.
Yeah. Super important. Okay, number 5 is career health. We're going to have healthy careers in mind.
This is a bad one, Cheryl.
It's going to be hard. That's okay though, right? We don't care. But we do know that 81% of people dislike their jobs. So that's quite a high number. We've got about as many people who are overweight and obese as we do hating their jobs.
Now, do you think there's some kind of correlation, Cheryl?
Oh, I'm sure I mean, you never know, but
if you're miserable 40 hours a week at your job, what would that do to your health and eating patterns?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get into benefits of starting your own business, which there are some incredible benefits, not to even mention the tax benefits, which are unbelievable.
Yeah, people got to wrap their minds around these tax benefits, because even if you love your job and you're doing it, we're going to teach why every single human being, especially in the United States, needs to have a business on the side, even if it's part-time, just so you can take advantage of these tax benefits. We don't make up the rules. We just want you to understand the rules completely, because Cheryl and I, we talk to people all day and we try to explain things to them, and it's just still amazing how many people are, I guess, brainwashed is the word to use on, well, no, that's not what my accountant said, and I'm like, well, your accountant may not know everything you think they know, or they have a certain agenda to just fill out the paperwork and get you out of their office as fast as possible. And we really want to help you save money.
Yeah, exactly. So talking about saving money, let's get right into financial health is number 6. Financial health is super important.
This might be the most unhealthiest category out of all of them.
Yeah, it's
which is hard to say because of all the other ones we just mentioned.
Well, and the hard thing about this, Paul, is they all are intertwined. So if you have financial disease, then you're going to find disease in other areas of your life. And I really believe that. I know it. I've seen it. I have experienced it in my life before. It's just really the way it is. And Paul wants to do this by tracking his spending. So he's going to be tracking his spending and talking to you guys about a cool app he found to track his spending.
Well, I got a number of recommendations for people, but I did download that Rocket Money thing back last year, and it really broke down my spending.
No, I'm going to tell you what it did is it put him into a bad emotional state. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, the emotional state was shock.
Yeah.
That you do not unless you really look at it, you do not realize how much money is going out and where it's going to. It is astonishing. My contribution to Amazon was a bit overwhelming once the computer program broke it down a bit.
Jeff is saying thank you, Paul. Oh my gosh. Well, and along these same lines, we've really got to look at that credit card debt, because I think a lot of people have gotten themselves in a bit of a pickle, if you will, with the credit card debt. Is
that another farm term, Cheryl?
It might be a farm term. I do like a pickle. It's
bit of a pickle.
Everybody
we got to
knows
research that one now.
And yeah, you've got to do that. Now, something that was really shocking to me, Paul, is that 9% of men have $100,000 or more in savings, right? So only 9%. That was shocking to me. But what was even more shocking is women have half that. Like, seriously? That's like half of the, I don't even understand. Like, that would mean like 4.5% of women are the only ones that have a savings account. That's like, wow. Anyway, so we'll be talking about that. And then also some investing strategies that we have.
Yeah, paying yourself first. That is the ultimate financial law. We spend on all these things we buy and do, but we don't pay ourselves first, and we got to do that. Otherwise, you don't do it now, you'll never do it. I promise you. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You can make $50,000 a year, or $50,000 a month, or $50,000 a day. You gotta pay yourself first.
Yeah. meaning a savings account.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. Number 7 is relationship health.
Another big one here.
Yeah, this is a good one, and it's a great one to elevate, I think. I mean, but we'll talk about it.
Spend the whole year on this one alone.
Yeah, that's right. Family, friends, marriage, and also any communities that you're involved in.
Yeah, we really treat this Elev8 Tribe as a real family. I mean, we really want to make this the ultimate community to be involved in. We're all here for the same reason, is to elevate our life, to support other people in the tribe, to help them elevate their lives as well. We've created something new, Cheryl. At the end of 2024, we created something called the IWH Health Hub, which is another community, which is kind of tied into these podcasts we're going to be doing this year, where you can go for health information. You know, it's strictly for health. So that's a great group to get in. We'll provide a link in here to that too. We would love for you to join that community as well. So the 2 communities is Elev8 Tribe, where everyone goes. And then if you want to get involved in the IWH Health Hub community, it's a great community on Facebook as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So last but not least, which is one of my favorites, is your lifestyle health. And this is super, super important, but really it's just about life balance, right? And I know we were talking a little bit earlier about David Goggins. He doesn't think you should have balance.
No.
Life balance. You think, but that's okay. That's okay. And but we do want it. I think that when you have that, then I think you are more peaceful, more calm. I think you feel you don't feel overwhelmed. So we're going to talk a little bit about life balance as far as sleep, work, personal, all of those things.
So the reason why I'm laughing is because, Jill and I have known each other for over 9 years now. And slowly but surely, I want her to get to know me better and better as we go elevate our relationship. And I tried to explain to her how I run my life with this life balance thing. And she was a bit... No. I may have mentioned it a little early. No. Nine years has not been enough time for me to break this topic to her, but I treat this very seriously, Cheryl.
No, listen. Listen, I don't even understand. Like, you can't be having a good time in your life, Paul, with all of these charts. And I mean, like, he's down to the seconds. Like, I've slept this many seconds. And I don't even know. Because right when he says stuff like that, I'm like, ooh, golly, turn that right off. Because I'm like, what? I can't even understand it. Like, I can't even comprehend the way he thinks about these things. But that being said, it's fantastic. And so I think that there are people who want to do that and who... Well,
Cheryl, listen, there's 8,760 hours coming up here this year. Okay. Oh, so we want to be intentional with each of those.
Here we go. Yes, I completely agree with you, Paul. Now, let's get back to lifestyle and travel. So there's... Okay. So no, but what I do like is we'll talk about like an ideal day. You need to set that up. Like, what's your ideal day? That's not for me.
And it's not waking up at noon, Cheryl.
And it's not, well, you don't know that, Paul. No, your ideal day is not. You don't know if mine is. But because I need to make sure I get a lot of seconds of sleep. So but we'll talk to you guys about setting up your ideal day, your ideal week, your ideal month, and your ideal year. By doing that, I think it just makes it so much more fun and easier to really get the results that you want and that you're looking for in your life, or here in 2025, of course. But we'll also, I love to talk about the trips that you want to take and the things that you want to buy. But I think really, you and I were talking about this, Paul, and I think probably the most important thing is just really getting clear on who you want to spend your time with and where it's most beneficial for you.
Yeah.
The time that you spend.
Yeah. And get intentional about it, that I'm going to spend time on my marriage, time with my kids, time with my friends, all of that's important. But, I think people have a tough time communicating that to people in their lives and what they want to do. And just, so it's just being clear. I think clarity is one of the key words there, but being intentional and knowing, boy, if I was plan out my year, my time, who would I spend it with, and when would that time be, and drawing boundaries around that.
Yeah, I love that. Paul, this was so much fun.
We got a great year planned, Shaw. I'm super excited about 2025 and all these podcasts, and really, we get all of our fulfillment from helping other people and helping them elevate their life. So we're super excited about these topics. We hope you're just as excited as we are, and follow along. I mean, this is a great community to be involved with, as we said, and we have some very, extremely value-packed podcasts planned for the year. So it's going to be great. Every Monday we're going to release one. It's going to be a growing process. Trust the process, and let's have fun together.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really do believe here that it's all about elevating your life. And it's been such a pleasure spending time with you today. Please stay committed and stay consistent. Remember that you have the power to elevate your life and the lives of those around you. We can't wait to see you next time. And always remember, keep